What is up, guys, and welcome to the Friday live day here on Entree Woman TV. I'm so thankful that you're here, and if you're watching this on the replay, thanks for being here. So tonight I wanted to do a stream talking about some money. So one thing that I have never shied away from is talking about finances, and the simple reason is because there's a quote or saying, not really a quote, but more of a saying that says that money isn't everything, but it's right up there with breathing. And so when you have it, you're not worried about it. And when you don't, or you're worried about losing it. And if you don't have it or enough of it, then all you're doing is focusing your time and thinking on it. We spend more time with people that we don't like and that we don't care about for money. We spend the time that we would rather spend with people that we love and care about, at a job that we don't like, around people that we don't care for money. Money, it gives us the ability to buy things that we want, like, or need. And without it, we can't do any of those things. And so the thing is to understand that money is currency, meaning that it's a current and it flows. When you have a currency, it has to flow. At any time, if you stop that flow, then you're going to have a backup, whether that backup is bills, whether that backup is stress or whatever, versus taking you through a situation by being able to generate income. And so the conversation tonight is not about, how to acquire a specific dollar amount, but the mental mindset that you have when it comes to money. Otherwise, you're going to have that backup and that build up mentally instead of being able to have a flow and a current and take you from one place to the next. So, like I said, I wanted to, first of all, let me make sure I have everything good to go, hooked up and all that good stuff. Far as I can tell, it's always pretty straight when it comes to Ecamm Live. And let me just hop over on the YouTube sphere and check that out very quickly. Oh, good evening. Hey, Carlos. How you doing? Good to see you. So, Carlos, that confirms that everything is well. And so, Carlos, I'm thankful that you are here. Hope you're having a great day and a fantastic evening. So let's just jump into the conversation. So like I said, tonight's talk is about money. And that's one thing where, when it comes to other channels that I've seen, whether if it's not specifically business or if it's not specifically a financial channel or something like that, then people have challenges when it comes to money. Not that they don't make it or that they, are having issues or what have you, but the fact that if they bring up money or if they're trying to sell something, especially if they've gone a long time and they don't really talk about it, then it's like the elephant in the room, but everybody's just kind of ignoring the elephant and walking around it and everything like that. So when it comes to trying to introduce a new product, a new service, or I'm sure if you have been on any channel, if you're subscribed to, any channels on YouTube, then you'll hear stuff like Patreon, or you'll see a PayPal link in their description and in the comments. And there's nothing wrong with that. But people, or especially if they do like brand deals or if they're associated with a company or anything like that. I watch a lot of channels where, one does gaming. So headphone, microphone, chair companies, because, gamers have that typical setup. They've reached out to him and he has affiliates with these or affiliation with these different companies. And, he doesn't have a problem because he talked about money the entire time that he started his channel. So it's not foreign or, a fearful area of talk on his channel. Whereas other creators I see, they'll try to slide it in and it's like, hey, come buy this, but don't if you don't want to. Come take this, but don't if you're really not feeling it. It's like, are you going to give me something? Or are you going to keep something from me? What is the issue? And so talking about money becomes a foreign thing. One of the things that I would hope that happens for each and every one of you, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, is the fact that you don't get uncomfortable when it comes to the conversation of money. I've talked to and coached different individuals when it comes to, their jobs and asking for a raise or commanding the pay that you want. Let's get one thing clear. Your job can never pay you the value or the total value of what you're worth, nor can they ever pay you the amount that they're going to receive from the value that you're creating for them. More than likely, you're getting paid maybe 10, 20% of the actual monetary value in revenue that company will receive. So thinking that a company is going to pay you what you are worth is not going to happen unless you probably own your own company. And then you can set that standards. And the simple reason is because no job can pay you what you're worth, because not even you have realized what your true worth and potential is. And you can always set that standard higher. And so when I hear people say, they not paying me what I'm worth and this, that, or whatever, and I would say to that person, you're thinking too low. You're thinking too low. And so, it's like it can sound contradictory at different times, or in your thought process. You may be battling a mindset or battling the challenges of what you had about money. And I talked about that in the podcast today. It's called The Fear of Selling. So that's on the Entree Chats Daily podcast. Hey, Dr. T, welcome. Good. I was going to say good morning. Good evening. Great to see you. So on the podcast, I was saying how just the fear of selling, like selling has become a dirty word. It's like, it's like saying prostitute or something. Everybody knows what that means. Everybody knows what they do. Everybody knows that world is filthy, and you have all these horrible things that automatically come to mind when you hear certain words like that. And selling has become a word like that, because in our minds, for most people, it takes on the mindset of a person that is sleazy, greasy, cheap suit, just horrible old car sales. It's just like the person that is doing all of the things that you don't like and that you hate, and they're trying to get over on you, and just all those different negatives. And so when we think about money, or selling, the word in its essence, we think about that. And that's the mentality that we have. So when it comes to receiving payment, receiving money, or receiving money as a byproduct of sharing value. So money is simply, and selling is simply, an exchange of payment for value, period. It's the same with somebody that gets a free download or some, PDF or audio program, just whatever, a recipe book, or even a simple recipe, or outline, a checklist, whatever. Of all the stuff that you've seen, whether it's CVS saying, or a clothing store saying you get 20% off one item because you'll sign up to our email list and this and that or whatever, the payment was the ability to reach out to you in your personal inbox, receive emails and notifications from them as much as they are going to send them out. The value for you was the discount that you received. That's no different than anything else. And we have no problem spending. We are primarily, especially like in America, but I think overall in general, we're like 90% consumers and 10% sellers. So we're in a consumer market. People are already used to buying. So if I know, especially when I know that, knowing that 2019 is literally, is crazy, because it's just a few weeks away. 2019 is right around the corner. Everybody's going to have goals. They want to make this amount of money per month. They want to generate at least some money in their business, whether that is direct income, which is, I say, I have these microphone wind muffs available for $3 on my website. Go there and buy them, and there's a direct something. I'm involved in it. So it's some kind of direct selling. Or it's passive selling, where I may be saying, this is the setup that I use, and if you want this setup, links in the description, or whatever like that. I post that video up on YouTube. It provides extreme value for people. They buy through my Amazon affiliate link, because I'm a partner with Amazon, and I generate income from it, and it becomes passive residual income. So passively, I've done that work one time, I posted it out there, done the work one time, and I'm continuing to reap benefits from that over and over and over again. So that becomes passive residual income. Now, whether you decide one or the other or both, I would highly suggest both. Both are good. It's it's the thing that you need to get past. And I was thinking about that tonight, and I wanted to tip a lady I was just going through a drive-through. I was getting me something to eat, and you could tell she was stressed. She just sat there. She was just like hanging out the window. It's cold. Hanging out the window in 20-something degree weather. She would rather hang her head and her hands out in the cold than deal with what's going on behind her, is how stressed she was. And I was just trying to comfort her. I'm like, it's going to be okay. And I'm thinking, I was like, should I give her some money or not? But I know at times it can be difficult trying to do that at the drive-thru and not, trying to get her in trouble. So all these things are going through my mind. But I also thought too, so eventually I wind up not doing it. And it's like, I'm going to try to go back up there again, maybe around about the same, day and time of the week or something like that. And just try to bless her and give her something. Because you never know what people are going through. She could have little children at home that are hungry. Lights just got cut off today. You never know what somebody's going through. And so even just thinking that on the drive home, I said the thing is, though, too, people have to get used to, especially if you're a giver, you're used to giving, you're kind, you're used to doing for people. You don't want anything from them. You're not trying to get over on anybody. You're used to giving. You have to be willing to receive. It is not your responsibility to stop that person from giving to you. You're doing them a disservice. Allow people to give to you and be ready to receive and say thank you. There's a lady at my church. I had got $1 from her. I was $1 short for a book that I wanted from one of the ministers that wrote a book. Matter of fact, it's a financial book. He is some super something accountant, okay? But it's a book or whatever. It's called The Divine Equation for Material and Financial Prosperity. That's a title for you. So I was $1 short because I don't carry cash. And I said, I was like, Sylvia, give me $1 for this book. And she was like, okay, didn't think nothing about it. And so I finally had cash again. This is like 2 weeks later. So I finally had cash again. And I gave her the $1. She fought me tooth and nail about that $1. She said, you don't owe me anything. I said, well, fine. I want to give it to you. Oh, I ain't taking no $1 from you. It's just $1. Take it. I don't care if it's a penny, $1, a nickel, or 100 of those dollars. Don't set a denomination of when you're able to receive and what it has to be and the form. Take, not even just take, receive. That's why I hate that phrase around this time of the year, giving back. What is giving back? What did you take? You know what I'm saying? It's like if I took something from your house like my siblings do when they take my parents' Glad containers. So let me know if you know about people stealing your Glad containers or your Tupperware. It's like, what did you take in order to have to give back, right? So when somebody says, I'm going to give back, what did you take? You didn't take anything. Just give value. Just say that you went to the animal shelter and you gave value. Or just say that you went to the homeless shelter and you were giving value or something. You didn't take anything to begin with. So I don't like that phrase. And I talk about that a lot on the podcast. But if you did not take something, what are you giving back to? You can give into, but you're not giving something back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like so when it comes to money and all that stuff, it's so much of what you say and what you're putting out there. And you're just like, oh, okay, now you're getting a little woo-wee wah-wah. Listen, I don't care what you believe or what you're into, or if you like to put roses in your hair and skip in the grass. I do not care. There is something that is true of life, and that is that we are energy and we are balls of energy. And the more of what you put out is the more of what you're going to get back. I don't care if it's in any culture, in any history book I've ever read, in any cultural studies I've ever done, in any financial prosperity books or anything else that I have ever read or came across, period. It has always talked about a dark and a light, a yin and a yang. Forwards and backwards. It's always that duplicity, so giving and receiving. So it's always that there. So if you're constantly giving something out, be ready to receive. So what that ties into for business is a book. I don't have the jacket cover for this one, but it's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So in this book, which surprisingly, I found has my name in it. I bought that book at a book fair, and he signs, like, I guess it's like a fake signature kind of ish or whatever, a printed one rather. All of those are in there, I think. But this one is signed. I think this one might be real though, but I'm not sure. I think this one is real, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But either way, I was reading this book. I read this book years ago, and every so often I'll pick it back up. But he talks about the mentality when it comes to, and you don't have to want to be a millionaire. You can be a thousandaire. Who cares? I don't care what the dollar figure is. I'm just simply talking about money. $20, $10, I was about to what is fin dollars? $10, $5, any dollar amount. I don't care what it is. When it comes to money in general, and this works for your jobs, it works for everything else. So, if you have a business, want to start a business or don't, it's all gravy, right? But he talks about the mindset of somebody that is living a life of abundance when it comes to being a millionaire, AKA millionaire mindset. So 3 things that he points out. That's 2. This is 3. 3 things that he points out. And so this is what he says. It says, we are conditioned in 3 primary ways in every arena of life, including money. Number 1, verbal programming. What did you hear when you were young? Number 2, modeling. What did you see when you were young? And number 3, specific incidents. What did you experience when you were young? The 3 aspects of conditioning are important to understand. So let's go over each of them. In part 2 of this book, you'll learn how to recondition yourself for wealth and success. So he talks about, verbal programming, modeling, specific incidents, and all of that. And then he goes into all of these different conditions that you experience because of your just general life experience, period. So the fact that a lot of the money mindset issues that by the time you're ready to start a business or by the time you're ready to, go for the position that you want in whatever company, ask for a raise or whatever, or even command that raise, right? He talks about verbal programming. So again, a lot of what you say does matter. And I used to have that mindset when I was little. I remember specifically my dad checked me. And he used to say, you're so negative. You are so negative all the time. I said, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just saying what is. He's like, what is real? Not like, what did I mean in that slang phrasing that it was, the context that it was said in, but define what is reality. Is it what we've already experienced because it has actually happened? Is it truly now because it's what we're dealing with currently, but, it could not be because it's not that thing that you're doing is fully done. I'm doing a live stream right now. It's a continuation until I'm done. Then I can say that I've done it. But right now I'm doing a live stream. Or is it the future, which was an hour ago or, a few days ago when I decided when to schedule when I'm going to do a live stream. So what is real? It's whatever you say it is. So whatever you're saying, and in the process of saying, and anything that you may have heard even verbally matters. I was listening to a song. It was a Toni Braxton song. And it was like on YouTube Music or whatever. And it was a very nice sounding song. Horrible lyrics. Why would I repeat what you're saying about relationships? You would rather die than not have this person. You can't stand this and that and whatever. You lost everything because of the depression that you, like, why would I say this stuff? It's like, how you sing after a song and whatever. No, I'm not saying that stuff. That's stupid. Why would I say that I want those things or even just to repeat it? Again, I believe what you say matters, and what you say is life in what you say, or it is death in what you're saying. So depending on what you're saying and putting out there, it will eventually manifest. If you're always saying that, this time of the year, I always get sick. This time of the day, I always get sick. Is it because you keep saying it? Or, or did that just happen successively, maybe 1, maybe 2 or 3 times, and you just saying, I always whatever. My sister used to say, I always get a zit on my nose. It's such and such a time of the year. I always get it. And true enough, she always got a zit on her nose. But she hasn't been saying that these past couple years, whether she became aware of it or she just stopped saying it. But I haven't seen a zit on her nose in the past few years. But she also stopped saying it too. So the verbal programming of what you say you begin to believe or you begin to take on, or if you listen to angry music, typically you become angry. You listen and put yourself in peaceful scenarios where you peaceful because you were in that environment and that had some type of just, it's like kids. You put kids in the wrong environments, they soak it up. You put kids in the right environments, they soak it up. You put those two children, they could be the same age, be born in the same hospital, live in the same area, and this and that or whatever. You put them two together and you see two totally different personalities, two totally different lifestyles, two totally different thought processes and all of that. So all of those things go into what we begin to think about money and eventually what we say about money. Second thing he was talking about modeling is, what did you see when you were young? A lot of our experiences do condition and they mold how we are. No different than if you dropped something, or what is it? Trying to think of what it is. It's like it was some sphere of some type that was being sanded and grinded down, and you had water. It was a whole process just to make this sphere, just like metal object. It's a condition of its environment that it's being changed. It was square. Now it's a circular form. It's round. It's a condition of its environment. It physically changed because of the outside circumstances that were going on that were directly affecting it. Same happens in our life. And you can change those things. I highly recommend you get this book. It's also an audiobook and he reads it himself. So I would highly suggest you pick up. It's called Secrets of, let me read the title actually. It's called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It's by T. Harv Eker. And so he talks about like your money blueprint. And the blueprint for anything that you can think about is the structure and the strategy and what is the map essentially of what we're going to be building here. Most of the times we start our lives and we already have a blueprint in mind. It's like it's already set up. But most people keep living by that blueprint that you grew up in, that you heard, that you experienced or whatever. And they never erase none of those lines. They never, stop believing what grandma said or mom and daddy said or auntie and uncle. Like they never change that stuff. I would encourage you that if you plan to make any money, any great amounts of money, if you're going to be receiving any great amounts of money, it could be $100, it could be $500, it could be $1,000, it could be even $10,000, $100,000. A lot of times in online business, you'll hear people talk about the six-figure income, and I made six figures here and this, down, or whatever. That's great, but if you can't get past the money mindsets of receiving several $100s more, several $1,000s more, several tens of thousands of dollars more, that six-figure word just doesn't, it seems unattainable. Something you would like, but it seems unattainable. Even I have had my challenges. When I first started coaching, I'm like, who is going to pay me? Who is going to pay me over $1,000 for coaching? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see the value in yourself sometimes. My coach is telling me you need to charge more than what you're thinking to charge. And I was like, no, I'll just stay there. I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay right there. He said, stay there for a little while. Do not continue. He's like, that is a steal for the value that you're going to provide. Again, selling. The value is nothing but simply dollars in exchange for value, period. You pay your insurance because it provides a value. Even when nothing happens, the value of you having peace of mind that if something goes wrong, that you're covered. It's a peace of mind. You pay for car insurance so that if something happens, you're covered. You know that there is some remedy to the situation of what's going on. So a lot of this, like, again, it's not necessarily like I can tell you a specific strategy to acquire more money. But if you can't get past the mental mindset and the issues that you may be directly dealing with when it comes to receiving the money, you'll stop somebody from giving to you. You'll turn them off when you already have turned them on, right? And so most of you guys know, if you listen to the podcast, if you've been around for a while, that I initially got my start in network marketing. So whether you hate network marketing or not, I love it because it got me my start to be here today. And so I had all of those challenges, and you don't know that you have those challenges until you encounter a situation. And somebody could be getting ready to pull out their checkbook, pull out their debit card and pay, and you will talk them out of the sale. Talk to any car salesman, any good ones. Talk to anybody in sales and marketing, period. Talk to any bankers, that's essentially selling somebody to get a different bank account, maybe over what they have, whatever. Talk to somebody that convinced their wife, they sold themselves to their wife that on this idea that life is better with me than by yourself or anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to somebody that has done that, and you will have come across an experience where they say either they themselves or somebody that they know they had it, or they had that person, or they had the deal, and then they lost it. So you can talk yourself out of receiving too when you've, already done the work. So without removing that mental boulder out the way so that you can receive the money that you actually deserve and should be receiving, because receiving income, receiving money for the value that you're creating, it is an honorable thing. It's a book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. He also has a book called Sell or Be Sold. Now, Grant Cardone is hard. Not everybody likes. He's one of those personalities where either you love him or you hate him. And he has a lot of content on YouTube. He's very active on YouTube. He have like a live call-in show. He is somebody that, used to smoke, I think it's like cocaine or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he used to be on something, right? He came up rough, just like, so he went through that hard process. So he has no fear about saying what he says because he knows that what he's saying is true. I took the 10X rule when I was focused. I just started working at the bank that I'm working at now. And this was back in 2013. I didn't see much value in the skills that I had, but I was continuously working on myself in personal development. Before I started my business, had already dabbled with network marketing some. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I know I can do better. Like, how do I unleash myself? You know what I'm saying? How do I bring out of me what's inside of me? Came across Grant Cardone and started reading the 10X rule. And it's talking about not just 10X in your finances, but 10X in your life in general, period. And so I used the 10X rule, listened to that audiobook every single day. I kid you not, it was not between a 6th and 8th month period that I was not receiving some kind of major bonus, some type of major increase, some type of opportunity that was not being offered to. Like, I was given so many, even to this day. It was, 3 or 4 months ago. I was just given another position. They just laid off over 150 people at my company, at my job. I won't say my company. My company is a small business startup. At my job, they laid off over 150 people. We knew it was coming. We didn't know who or how or what. They decided that because they had a tough time financially, we need to shave some of this fat off. Fat being people. Fat being where you moved because you wanted to be closer to your job. Fat being kids' school districts may need to be changed because the parents can no longer afford to stay there. Or fat being somebody moved out of town to a different location for the company and now they got to move back to St. Louis. That's what they considered fat. There's like over 150 people. And the process of which they did it was hella shady. Hella shady. Get an email one day. You got 7 days to make a decision on stuff that you've been working on for years. In the midst of that, I was given a job, given a different position on something I actually like, that I had been doing as a project, that I was given when other people was going through hell. So when I'm saying what I'm saying, this is not just about your company. This is not just about, social media and followers and whatever else. It's about life, period. It's about relationships, 10X in relationships. Like, can you imagine a good relationship that you have going up even further, like 10Xing that relationship? Can you imagine a business partnership being 10Xed? Can you imagine a poor relationship that you have that you hope will become better? It could be with your parents. It could be with your siblings being 10x'd. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you talk about these mental barriers, when you get money out of the way, all of that frustration begins to leave. All of that stuff begins to leave. And even if you have financial strains, again, I've had those, like you do well and just like hit a rough spot and it's just like crap. It's just like, what did I do wrong? And you're checking and you're doing checks and balances. You don't even experience the hardship the same way that you did before because you've learned to think about things differently and get past it. So I don't know if you came to the stream today thinking I'm going to give you a secret formula or strategy or something like that, but this is literally it. And most people don't like that. And I'm very adamant on giving you actionable steps and things that you can do to change specific circumstances or go here, do this, call this, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something I'm like, you need to kind of do this, tweak that. Like that's my general directives. But this is something that it doesn't matter what I tell you. You're not going to do it. You're not going to have the internal courage to go out and do it if you can't begin to change your mindset. And let me forewarn you, this takes time. It may not take time to make the money because you can do that sometimes off beginner's luck. So still try. But I want you to be aware that this is a process. You have had sometimes these money mindset issues since you were a kid and you didn't realize it. For example, play along with me. If you're still here in the chat, hopefully you guys are still there. Play along with me. And if you're watching this on the replay, you play along too, or I will. So help me. No, I'm just kidding. So do this. Finish this statement. Money doesn't grow on what? Fill in the blank. I'll give you a few seconds. Money does not grow on what? If you're in the chat, then I'll have to finish it myself. I guess you all have left. Money doesn't grow on trees. If you ask that to anybody, try that this next week. Ask them, finish this statement for me. Money doesn't grow on what? And let them fill in the blank. So, okay, Carlos got it. So, it's just, I'm trying to think of some other phrases, but that's the primary one. Now, Carlos and I did not grow up in the same neighborhood. We don't have the same parents. We didn't, we don't work at the same jobs. We're not in the same, just like we're not in the same city. And somehow that statement got from here to there. Was it, where is it again that you live, Carlos? But I know it's another country. So you mean to tell me that from the USA all the way over there to where Carlos lives, that statement made it. And the same way I learned it and I heard it is the same way that other people have heard it as well. So when I'm saying the stuff that I'm saying, it's like, it's legit. Okay? It's legit. So let me jump in these comments. I want to hit these and then wrap up for the evening. So let me move this out the way. So Dr. T, you're saying good advice. It is often unbalanced between employer and employee. Someone always feels like they are not being paid enough and you are being paid too much. Absolutely. So you're with me on the Glad containers. Yeah. Gladware is just one of those brands that just gets stolen. So Carlos saying good point. Oh, he's from Brazil. So from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Awesome. So from here to Rio, that statement is known. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when it comes to being able to receive income, being able to receive money, payment, be okay with saying yes. Because when you can have the courage and the excitement, because a lot of people they'll jump into 2019 and have so much excitement and just, be very boastful, to just be great. You know what I'm saying? Just be full of energy, full of life. And then the moment that something doesn't happen, it's like you fall back to your mental thermostat. So the same way that in life you have a mental thermostat, in regular life you have a regular thermostat. You set it at 70 degrees. If it drops below that, it kicks on and it raises it up to 70 degrees, and then it'll turn off. If you try to set it higher than that, let's say it kicks on by default or whatever, it comes on, that temperature starts to go up. It'll kick on, it'll lower it back down if it's hot outside, for example, in the summertime. If it's hot outside, your thermostat is set at 70. It's 80 degrees outside. The thermostat will kick on and bring it down to 70. If it's getting too cold, it'll bring it back up to 70. And so the same way that a thermostat in your house can be set to stay at a certain temperature, your mentality has to be set at the right temperatures that you want for what you're saying that you want in your life. Otherwise, your habits will kick in and bring you back down to where your thermostat is actually set. I've had that happen before. It is not comfortable. It is not nice. And it will have you thinking twice about everything that you've done. But when you begin to value money, you begin to really see it as a currency. When you really begin to see it as an energy, as a force, as, you know what I'm saying, like a legit something, then you'll begin to realize the fact that this is legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is legit. Put some of these principles and practices into play. Like I said, tonight's stream is just going to be pretty light, but I just want to put that on your radar before 2019 kicks in. I know you guys are super pumped. I hope you have great plans set for what you want to do in the new year. And the thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of is the mentality that not just the inspiration that you may be having or the motivation to change things, but understand that once the motivation is gone, once the, life does something to you, it hits you from the left, it hits you from the right. If you get upset, if something happens, that's when those times when I'm talking about that thermostat will begin to come back down. It'll begin to, it'll begin to readjust, bring you back to your regular scheduling program, right? Be prepared to be disciplined to stay at that mental thermostat that you're saying that you want, that you're holding that needle higher than what it was previously set at. Don't let anything throw you off your rocker. Don't let a person push your buttons. I talked about that last week where people hold their buttons out and be like, yeah, they pushed my buttons. Put your buttons away. They belong to you. Put your buttons away. So, Carlos, you're saying we have the same expression in Portuguese. I cannot read that, so I will read the translation. It says, you can't demand anything else that you have never gave yourself for. My English does not help, but I think it's something like near that. We all understand. So it's just one of those things where you know that when we hear those phrases that if you want to do something that you've never done before, you have to change. You have to change. You can't hang around the same people. You can't listen to the same stuff. You can't read the same books. Or if you're not reading at all, you can't go without reading them. So there are certain specific principles that the people that we love and we respect and we look up to, that we honor, and we just like Gary Vaynerchuk. You have Sean from Think Media. You have people like Will Smith. You have all these different people and these personalities that people look up to for the success that they have, the fact that they came from a similar situation and background that you did, and the fact that, you just want to model after what they're doing and achieve the same things that they've achieved. You have to be willing to do some of the different things that they've done. If you watch any of the terrible Vlogmas videos going on right now that I'm doing, I cannot, first of all, I am trying. I will work better to make those better. I have some more days left, about 20 or yeah, no, not 20. It's only 25 days. So only 15 days. I'm thinking of as if I was going to do 30 days, but I'm not doing that. So 15 days or so left videos. So we're for the Vlogmas ones. So I've been thinking about some different stuff, more creative, try some different things out, but it's more or less an experiment. It's pushing me. Reason why I did Vlogmas, even though I got so much stuff going on right now, I have, Vlogmas that I'm doing. Why I threw that on top of everything else doesn't make sense unless you understand the motive behind it. But I'm doing a project for my church. So that'll be huge. And that'll be launching around February and March of this year. Tomorrow, I have a shoot at the church. I had previously, I had other stuff scheduled, other stuff going on. I have running the business, doing everything that I'm doing here in the consulting company. Then I have a job, a full-time job, so I'm doing all of those things. I teach the teens at my church. I do that too. You know what I'm saying? So even on Sunday, I'm at church and I'm teaching, right? Or I'm assisting if my assistant pastor is teaching that day in teen church, but I'm actively engaged, right? Doing all these different things. Why throw Vlogmas on top of that? To stretch me, push me to a different level, put me in a different comfort zone. One of the very first mentors that I had in business that I heard said your comfort zone is your broke zone. If you're always comfortable, you always, you say always warm. You like, not that you have to have so much dissatisfaction, but dissatisfaction in its essence is a blessing because you have to stretch and you have to grow. Diamonds are made when it's getting pressure put on it, not because it's just chilling already. It's like it's a pressurized process. So much pressure gets put on that to make that diamond what it is. Don't think that you just, will slide through. It's a process. And know that you're in the process of achieving that thing that you want. And just know that it will take time. So give yourself some grace about that. But the thing too is like, why do Vlogmas and even the stuff with the Canon M50? It's like that doesn't stress me out, but at the same time, it's something else to have to deal with, and I don't like it. I've never had to, have a company essentially call you a liar, that you did this, and you didn't do the right thing, and this, now, whatever. I can tell you what, I asked for butt whoopings as a kid, okay, because we got whoopings in our house. I'm that kid that walked up to my dad, Daddy, I need a whooping. He's like, what are you talking about? I need a whooping. I broke something. Because I already know how it goes, Let's just get to the point, right? But a company doesn't know who you are, who you're shopping with, or whatever. They don't know who you are. They don't care. They just don't want to pay, But what I'm saying? So more than the issue with the camera, just that bit there, the whole fact that somebody, calling you dishonest, I hate that. Like that is like, I am just furious with them in the emails. I have not been kind at all. So, it's just like that thing right there. I don't like it. But at the same time, can I continue on? In one of the vlogs coming up, I haven't decided if I'm going to put this part in there or not, but I was just recording to do a time lapse. But when you record and you speed it up versus if you put it on the time lapse setting of the camera, is different. So I wanted that one to be recorded so that I could stop it and then grab the camera when I'm done to show what I wanted to show. I got a call in the middle of it, and because it's a recording or whatever, I was like, I can just cut that out. From when my mom called. She called to tell me that one of my cousins that I'm close with, he already has brain cancer. It's spread from one side of his brain to the other. He's just been given a short time frame for living. And so that's difficult to hear. But I'm also in the process of doing something. And so I will take time and deal with that and feel that and be involved and engaged with that when it's time for that. Not before. Because if that's the case, I can't function. You know what I'm saying? Like, and somebody could say that's harsh and that's cold-blooded. At the end of everybody's life, you have a purpose. Whether you achieve that or not is on you. I aim to achieve mine at all costs. My parents will die. My siblings will die. Hopefully in, like in the order of when you get to the end of your life and all of that. But knowing that death is a part of life, knowing that, like it's just a thing. You can go early, you can go late. We don't know. But it happens. Stuff happens to everybody and it sucks. And I will take time. And if my cousin goes, then I will grieve him. And at the same time, I know my cousin. My cousin was always a go-getter. He taught me so much, and I learned so much from him. So at the same time, he knows, what I'm going for, what I'm trying to do, and the lifestyle that I'm eventually trying to live. You can't, again, it's like, is it your thermostat set at a certain spot? And are you going to kick yourself back to go back up to that? Or just bring that thermostat needle down so that you can stay comfortable? I'm not trying to stay comfortable. That's an uncomfortable situation that I will deal with. You know what I'm saying? But so it's stuff like that happens all the time. And one of the things that I'm going to add in the vlog that I love, it's a podcast called The School of Greatness. And I always say the guy's name is Leslie Samuel, but it's Leslie Odom Jr. Leslie Samuel is a different entrepreneur. Leslie Odom Jr. is the guy that's one of the singers in that incredible Broadway play that was called Hamilton. Haven't seen it, heard of it? Oh my gosh, listen to it. Watch clips on YouTube, whatever. You can listen to the Broadway soundtrack on YouTube. It's incredible. It's one of the best things I've ever heard, period. The guy's name is Leslie Odom Jr. He's an actor, as he acts in this play. And so he was saying that when you make a decision to do something, when you're trying to take yourself to the next level, life is going to send something your way to ask you, are you sure? When I say that, punched me in the chest like you would not believe, like a pro boxer. It hit, and it hit hard, because at different times you can trace back in your memory and you can think about, it's like, at what point were you really getting ready to do something? Life sent something your way that was going to be difficult to deal with, whether that was a death, whether that was a challenge or a firing, or you got evicted or whatever. Life sent something your way and you cowered back. You didn't charge ahead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm going to charge ahead. And that's what you have to do. So a lot of what we talked about tonight already is it's about money mindset. It's about a money mindset. So let me jump to these comments. So Carlos, you're saying my program will debut next Monday on 8 p.m. Sao Paulo, Brazil time. Would you join me and say hello? I'm pissing my pants, but I'm good. Even being pissed. Yes, I will join you, my friend. I will have to convert that time. Matter of fact, let me write that down right now so I can look into what time it actually is. Like what the time difference is between Central Standard Time and I'm not sure what time zone you go in Brazil, but Sao Paulo. It's Monday at 8 p.m. All right. So I got that written down. I'll check into that, the time difference or whatever. But yes, I most certainly will come over and join your program. So look forward to that. You guys go and check out Carlos's channel. You can look back in the live chat or the replay of the chat, and you can see and click on his profile and check that out. He said, oh, by the way, I loved your Vlogmas videos. I didn't have the time to see the last couple. That's okay. I feel, it's like vlogging is different, and I think everybody is so used to seeing good ones. They don't really have the energy for the ones that are less than stellar. So I feel some kind of way about them, but I am working on them. So that's the thing. Like I said, it's stretching me because I'm used to structured stuff. Okay, I'm going to do this recording. I've done the research ahead of time. I know, this is my bullet points that I want to hit on. Here's the content that I want to deliver. I deliver the content, and then I know that, that's it. But vlogging is like, oh, right, let me grab the camera. And then it's like, and then at first it was super raw and just ridiculous. And I'm like, well, just because it's raw doesn't mean it have to be terrible looking, so it's like, it's just like, I don't know. You think I was pulling out a camera for the very first time with the way that they have been looking, and it's just like, it feels all over the place because I haven't figured out how to really introduce the day-to-day goings of what I do. Literally, like you see me in this room, and in every video, I'm always in this room. I might as well put a bed in here. I'm always in this room. Like, this is where I work. This is where I'm thinking. Like, this is my creative space. And so, most people, you see them traveling through the house and doing this and that. Like, I eat in the living room when I'm watching TV. So, like, when I ate dinner tonight, I was watching a show called The Peaky Blinders that I like on Netflix. Probably like my fourth time watching it. So, so I'll eat. For that 30 minutes that I may be eating, that's all the TV time. And I'm getting ready to do a mental fast. I won't be doing any TV. The only thing I'll probably be watching is different YouTube videos that I'll be studying and stuff like that. But I'm getting ready to do a mental fast. So that means no radio, no TV, no TV shows. If like I've been seeing stuff about the Vikings that's on, I think it was the HBO, TNT or something. I don't know. But that show called Vikings. I love that show. I'll catch the season later. You know, I think there's some stuff going on with The Walking Dead. Love that show too. I'll watch that later. You know, so when I do these mental fasts, no distractions. All distractions are equal when it comes to you trying to achieve what it is that you want. All distractions are equal, period. So, let's see here. Let me see. Okie dokie. All right, Carlos, I'm getting to your other comments. So you are pragmatic and mature. I like that. In my life, I've always been like that. And what has allowed me not to be considered cold-hearted is focusing on my actions and not on my things. Love that. So it says deal with verbs, not with nouns. Okay? It says you're the boss. Thank you. No problem. Minister Alzada Purier. Hello. Have to catch the replay. I'm stepping out into entrepreneurship. Awesome. Welcome. I haven't seen you on the channel, but welcome to the channel. Or I haven't seen you on I haven't seen the comments or on the live stream. So welcome to the community. Glad that you are here. So Carlos, you said, when I said cold-hearted, I meant the impression some people get wrong. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's just that, you know, because some people take challenges and experience of how you feel very differently. I just one thing somebody told me, and I wholeheartedly disagree with the statement, but it was more of a joke. But again, I take words seriously. So somebody said, it was a coworker. It was like somebody on the side of the road, and it was I guess somebody had like a little fender bender or whatever. It wasn't something huge. But I guess like they clipped the side of their car. And so the kids got out. They had blankets wrapped around them. They already had the emergency services there or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, please move that off to the side of the road because all of this area is getting congested for no reason. I don't want to be late for work. It can seem selfish, whatever are they. But again, before I made that judgment, I could see everybody is safe. There's no ambulances here. There's no need for one. Everybody's cool, calm, and collected. Well, I came in. And they were saying that, you know, oh, you see the kids on the side of the road. I'm like, yeah, they're fine. And in blankets, yeah, get them off the road. Like, don't have these kids stand on the side. Y'all need to move. And it's like, Diana, you are so cold-hearted. You don't have a mothering bone in your body. I said, I disagree. But the thing is, like, it's like you have some people that are just, like, overly sensitive and just cry at the drop. You know, like, no, I would rather focus on what's important. Let's focus on only what's important and move on. But the thing, here's the beautiful thing about when it comes to selling and when it comes to, I have a piece of skin on my lip that's annoying me. Excuse me. But when it comes to selling, anything dealing with receiving or anything like that, when it comes to that kind of stuff, you have to understand that's the beautiful thing. You can be a super sensitive person and I'm not. And that's why we need you in the market. That's why we need you to bring your gifts to the table. That's why we need you to have what it is that you are created for, the things you're purposeful in doing, the things that you're excited about, and all of that. That's why it's important that comes out because that person that is super sensitive, they connect with somebody like them. They connect with somebody that needs. That's probably why I probably attract more men than actual women on YouTube. My demographics, it used to be 99% men and 5% and 1% women. Now it's 95% men and 5% women. So it's starting to come up, but it's still like severely scaled in the men's. And I used to ask, like, why are these men coming to the channel? I'm specifically saying, you know, like women, this, now, whatever, because that's my general demographic for my one-on-one coaching clients. And I'm thinking, like, why is all these men on the YouTube channel? It's because the information does not matter, and people like certain characteristics that are like them. It doesn't matter whether that's a woman or a man. So, you know, it's just like I've come to terms with that. I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. My very first client was a man, so that's cool. And I work with men, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like trying to figure out those different dynamics. But the reason is like that I was saying, like everybody is needed. And you can say, well, this market is oversaturated and this and that or whatever. But you aren't there. Your unique story isn't there. And you say, well, what's unique about my story? Whatever it is that you lived through. You could have grew up in an apartment building. It's different than somebody that grew up in a home in a neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You could have grew up in a very good school. Could have grew up in a very bad school. Like everything that you have done relates to somebody's experiences and their challenges, whether it's something that you're coming through or something that you have already come through, are reasons why people want to connect with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's important to know that what you've gone through, don't discount that, because even that is value. And again, the definition for, selling is that it's just money in exchange for value. So when you can understand that somebody is willing to part with their dollars for the value of what they're going to receive, they're cool with it. It's just you that has to get past those mindsets. All right. Let me go back to the chat here. I wanted to go back to Minister Alzada. You're saying you're stepping out into entrepreneurship. I am, one, happy for you. And then two is just like, that's super exciting because it's everything is brand new. It's so much to learn. It's so much to do. And, I'm curious, let me know down in the, or not down, over in the chat. Let me know what it is that you are wanting to do. What area of business are you getting started in? I'd be curious to hear that. Alrighty. So, Carlos, you're saying my actions include me, and nouns sometimes are things outside. My English does not help. I'm sorry. That's quite a philosophical thing that my skills in English just can't. That's okay. It all communicates. It all resonates. Like I said, when we're thinking and we're talking about the same thing, we're all on the same wavelength. It's good. It all works out. But we're pretty much at time for tonight. I want to keep it right at an hour just to save the integrity of the replay of the stream. So whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I sincerely thank you for being here, spending some of your day with me. And hopefully some of what I said tonight resonated with you. And again, when you are thinking about your mental mindset, money issues, really think through what have you heard, what have you seen, what have you experienced that is making the changes in your life that you probably don't want, and what things do you need to do to get there. And so for me, for example, was I eventually moved back home from Ohio when my mom got sick, because I promised her when I left several years before that when she was ready to have surgery and was healthy enough to, I would come back home and I would help her to recover. So I stayed at my parents' house, and even when I was getting ready to leave, my parents were like, no, just stay in the house. You can live here. It's fine, this, that, whatever. So I'm like, well, okay. But once I got started, and again, I got my start in network marketing when I was in my 20s, like 21. Yeah, 21. So when I got started, everything began to get uncovered. And so being in business, it will expose you. So if you are good with money, it exposes that. If you're bad with money, it will expose that. And it will expose you to yourself, not to necessarily other people or whatever, but it exposes you to who yourself and really shares with you your specific challenges. And so I had a lot of different belief system issues and challenges. And one of the things that I understood that I needed to change was my environment. Had nothing to do with my parents. But the thing is that all my siblings have a key. There's kids there all the time. Conversations happening all the time. I wanted to be in a place that I can completely control the environment. Everything needed to be peaceful at all times. I do not allow nonsense in my house. It's only a few times I've let siblings curse in my house, but I don't really let cursing in my house. I don't let certain music in my house. I control everything of what happens in between these walls, period. When you come in here, you got to come correct, or don't come over here. I don't invite everybody to my house. This is my space. You'll hear like in different Chinese or Japanese cultures, if they're doing any kind of karate or something like that, you talk about the domain. You're like, this is my domain, and this is my domain. This is my dojo. It has to be a certain mentality that's going on here. It has to be a certain energy. It has to be a certain environment. It has to be a certain culture and spirit. And I don't want nobody walking in here with a bunch of crap that they have on them, hoping to dump it out. And the same analogy that I'll leave you guys with tonight is the fact that if you would not let somebody walk into your house, bring their garbage bag with them from the week's worth of trash that they have accumulated, dump that trash, chicken boxes, napkins, toilet, just whatever, onto your kitchen floor, leave it there, and walk out. Do not let people mentally dump on you. Do not let people mentally dump on you. So that is the same thing when you're letting people walk into your life, throw up on you verbally with all or emotion, all the crap that they have, and just release everything out on you, and then just leave out, and you're left with all this crap. Don't let people do that. You have to teach people how to treat you. So, let's see here. So Minister, I was always saying, yeah, it's overwhelming. Yeah, just start with the number one thing that you want to start working on, and then go there, and then work your way through. She said, I'm a Christian counselor, life coach in the process of writing a book too. Fantastic. That's awesome. So you said, that's so true. Peace is everything. Absolutely. It's just, I think people underestimate the value of peace. I think they severely underestimate that. I even hate when they let, certain people in the area. You need to leave. Seriously, you need to leave. Because even around me, for my neighbors, anybody that's driving through, I don't care if somebody's dropping you off. Granted, that's your house. You do what you want to do. But over here, around here, I'm spreading this message of it needs to be peace around here. It needs to be comfort. It needs to be joy. It needs to be just, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be the good stuff going on around here. None of that nonsense. Because St. Louis is violent enough. Take that someplace else. But with that, my friends, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell, because I'll do more content like this once we're through Vlogmas and we get the Canada 50 back. Everything will go back to normal, and then we'll continue on in the next series, the next video content creation series, as well as the next financial series, because we are in the period of tax time, so we need to start discussing a lot of those things. But with that, my friends, I'll leave you with the quote that I love by Jim Rohn, where he says, "The winds of life blows on us all, but it's how you set your sail." So I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and as always, my friends, live with passion. I'll see you guys on the next video.